All right, so here we are on the left writing across of explanation. We keep going on the 3-5 profile. The 3-5. When we get to the 3, I have this 4-3. It's not my sun, but I have Saturn here. So as my daughter can testify, I've been an irresponsible father in my life. No question about that. I lived out that info formula. And it was the formula in that being who was not self. When we look at the third line, it says irresponsibility, the general refusal to apply oneself diligently. Again, there's the key of the way in which the 3 is going to deal with the relationships. Don't get too involved. The first line personality is going to say, there are bad times, but there are also good times of pleasure. And the second line personality is going to say, it's all about acceptance. It's all about acceptance. No matter what, you just accept it and it's okay. And the third line says, hey, just don't pay any fucking attention. If you're flying along and somebody's screaming, turn on the radio, man. Just forget it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It'll pass. Hopefully, they fly out of one day and that strange screeching you hear all the time will disappear. Can you imagine being a 3-5 on this cross and you're going to explain it to others, right? You're going to explain the importance of irresponsibility. Don't expect me to care for you. Why don't you care for yourself and let me care for me? A very individual mind. I don't need you to care for me. The other thing is that you're 4323 and you're flying along in space and somebody beside you yelling after a while you don't hear them. You go totally deaf. I have had lovers who have wanted to have a hammer to my face. Will you listen to me? No, I'm not listening. I'm flying. So when you're dealing with a 3-5, what it's really saying is that it's a very relationship you can find something. That's what it's saying. And again, of these, even though I'm making fun of them because it's important to see the humor built at the same time, you have to see the advantages, each of them. In fact, it's providing you with a way. It's in the formula. That's a way within the logic. It's very different for that. It's wait until we get to the experiential abstract gate and how the I deal with the duality. This is different. This is just logic. But logic tried to come up with these formulas. So, for example, if you have a first line in your profile, wherever it is, you're going to see that one of its way in which you're going to deal with the relationship is waiting for those moments of pleasure to justify the relationships. If you have a second line in your profile, you're going to try to get to that place where you can simply accept the other for what they are. If you have a third line in your profile, you're just going to pay much attention to it. Get by your relationship with just the bare minimum effort and expect you can get by with a bare minimum effort. Well, nice relationship. The 3-6. The 3-6 is much better at maintaining dysfunction than any other profile. 3-6s, 6-3s, because with themselves understate the dysfunction so deeply so that they can actually deal with dysfunctional relationships, odd relationships, in a very sophisticated way. And so when it comes to duality, our impression, you'll see the same thing. By the way, in mutation, the difference is in the wheel. The way that works is to really understand we have to totally differently way of looking at 3-6s and 6-3s through this kind of quarter that you're going to see that they're actually much more stable than, for example, than the foundation variation, which would be the 3-5 or the 4-6 for that matter. However, that being said, they were really expected the deals to get by with as little as possible. The one advantage on this cross is that given that you have individual mental definition, if they're mostly individual in the design as well, if their partner is mostly individual, the individual relationship is an empowerment relationship in which the illusion of being together is redefined as the illusion of being separate but together. So this can be something that's very powerful in that sense. In other words, a way of trying to get back to the truth. In other words, you're strong enough to stand on your feet. I'm strong enough to stand on feet. And yet we are in it together. And of course, that's the level that can be seen to the 3-6 in this configuration. But obviously, they have to go through the 3-2 phase. 3-3 phase. Obviously, for many in the not self, this is going to be very disorientating. And basically, they end up being the ones that try to find all kinds of answers to what are basically just archetypal solutions that are being given here in the line themes. In other words, they start looking for subtleties. They try to find other ways logically they can do things. There are people that write self-help relationship books who try to explain all these different ways that you could make your relationship better depending on this and that and the other thing. Relationships books, very good. Talk about